Welcome to Communing with Divine, a podcast where I share my spiritual quest and the lessons and the insights that I've received from many divine beings and energies during meditation. I am your host, Meraki. Now, let's begin. Hello and welcome to Communing with Divine. I'm so glad that you joined me today. I'm just going to get right into it. December the 1st, 2022. I'm speaking with the Archangel Gabriel, and Gabriel is trying to teach me something. In the distance, I can see a man who's sitting on his own. It feels as if something has sort of snapped within him. He feels energetically out of control, like he's in a downward spiral. The Archangel Gabriel is explaining to me that this man has experienced trauma and negativity in his life, but he did not try to heal. He did not try to forgive. Instead, this man sat in anger and resentment and hatred. And as he did this, these vibrations, which are all fear-based, started to grow in strength and in size, filling his physical and energetic bodies with more and more of their vibrations. And as he did that, he came to the attention of other similarly distorted and low vibrating energies, and they were drawn to him. This man has not reached out to the divine for help in any way. He is unprotected and has resisted or rejected all guidance. He's choosing to seethe and wallow in these lower vibrations. And because of this, he is unprotected and open to the influence and manipulation of the low vibrating energies within him and those he's calling to him, even if he's doing this unconsciously. He is like a man possessed. And yet, on some level, there's a part of him that believes that he is in control of these energies and entities. The Archangel Gabriel says, make no mistake, he is not. This is a very serious situation. He knows not what he does. He knows not what he does. They look to take up a home within and around him, and from him and through his associations and interactions, they look to spread to others. This is their intent, and it's up to us whether or not we choose to sustain them. The Archangel Gabriel says, once humans walk unaware through their lives, this is what is. Once humans walk unprotected and distracted, this is what is. Once humans turn from their awareness of their connection with divine, once they forget the resonance of their true vibration and focus only on this world filled with a cacophony of diversionary and low vibrating energies, this is what is. With each step they take towards separation from their true vibration and from divine, they become susceptible to the influence of the energies you see filling and surrounding this man. This is as it is. This is the result of the disconnection from self and to all that is. We call to you. We reach out to you, but you hear us not. You see us not. For many, we do not exist in truth, but you have called us child, and we are here. I'm speaking with my ether self, and I'm thanking her because it's because of her that I can connect to divine and get all these messages and insights and connect to them so quickly and easily and so viscerally. She's saying that I should always keep on my guard for the information that travels through her. And I don't understand. She says, I am the ether. I am that which holds all things together. All that exists in this place travels through me. All things. Do you understand? And now I do understand. She means that all energies, both high vibrating and low vibrating, travel through her. Duality exists in this conscious reality, and so they exist, and they travel through her regardless of their vibratory level. She says, it is as it is. This is my role. I'm speaking with the goddess Alethea, who's saying to me, much is happening, yes. She says that when I ask that I not misperceive or perceive incorrectly the light perverted as light, that I'm also calling upon her, because she is truth revealed. She is truth exposed. And so within the vibration of her energy, nothing can present itself other than how it exists in truth. Nothing can hide its nature in the presence of her energy. All that approaches her, no matter how ethereal and divine it initially appears, if what it projects is not its true nature, once it enters her energy, it will be exposed for what it truly is. The light perverted, the shadow, anything that presents itself as something that it is not, cannot maintain its illusion and its deception in the presence of the truth revealed. So she's suggesting that I ask for her help in this always, and I will for sure. The sacred feminine is talking about how she and the sacred masculine come together to form one whole energy. They are each a whole within themselves as individual vibrations, but they are also half of a complete and balanced energy when they come together. The combination of their energies creates a perfect whole. She's asking me if I understand. She wants me to observe them as they merge, and so I will. I can see them coming together, and it's indescribably beautiful. They create a whole that is beyond description. The sacred feminine is explaining there is no male or female. There is really no darkness or light. There just is. The realities that we create, that humanity creates, are illusions. She says, why does humanity choose illusions that are based in fear? This is not necessary, but this is the choice you often make. What will you choose to believe in? To what reality will you subscribe? The power is yours. Respect that power, acknowledge that power, embrace that power, and use it wisely. This truth remains a mystery to you. What do you practice in truth? Choose with clarity and wisdom, and make it so. The power to transmute, the power to create has been granted to you, to all of you. What have you created? You are transformational transmutation machines. Someday, humanity may come to understand this. You consider your physical selves to be nothing more than biological machines that have a limited function. Your physical self is so much more than that. Your physical self is an extremely powerful, efficient processor of energy. Much of humanity believes that your bodies have been made manifest to create in only a physical way for procreation, to bring others of form into being through the joining of your physical bodies. This is indeed true, but it is a limited understanding of what your gift is. What you do not understand is what is most important, that you convert energy and create anew with every breath and every pause between. This is the true meaning of the gift of creation that you are given. You are surrounded by energy. You produce energy. You walk through energy. Energy comes to you and passes through you. Vastly different frequencies of energy, which are never ending. And without thinking, you transmute, you affect, you produce, and you create anew. You know this. You have been taught this already. We have spoken to you about this. What have you done with this knowledge? How have you applied this in your life? Consciously? Every day? It is as if you do not understand your own lesson. You hear it and say, yes, 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 and yet you do little to apply it. It is as if it is a mystery to you. Saying, okay, I can't argue with this because it is true. And now she's laughing. She says that she's not trying to come down hard on me. She's not trying to be unkind. They're saying to me that the purpose is not to admonish me, The purpose is to get me to realize that I'm not applying it. To realize that I'm not applying it and to find a way to succeed in actively applying this awareness, this understanding, this knowledge every day. She continues, you are an energetic transmutational machine. This is a function of the physical self. The soul, your true essence, has no need for this. Do you not understand? The soul is perfect as it is. The soul is unaffected by the fluctuations in energies that it encounters, for the soul is as it is. It is the physical self and the presence of existing within this conscious reality that dictates the manipulation and the transmutation of energies. And so it is the physical self that transforms these energies, and it must be done in a conscious manner with awareness. Most of humanity exists within a state of reactionary unconscious manifestation, and this is most unfortunate. Now she's showing me a person who's walking down a busy street. Another person is rushing past them, and as this person does that, they hit them with their shoulder, and then they continue on without any care. The first person's initial reaction is shock, but this quickly turns to anger. I can see the energy around them transforming and shooting towards that person who bumped into them as they rushed past. It is a disconcerting looking energy. But suddenly, the first person becomes aware of what they are feeling, and they stop and they choose to forgive. They forgive the distracted person who accidentally body checked them. And now that disconcerting looking energy has changed its form, both around them and that which was extended toward the unconscious body checker. The sacred feminine says, nothing that exists in this reality is permanent. All is an illusion. And yet, there is a purpose to it that you are not privy to, or it would not have come into being. And so this existence must be approached with a care and respect that reflects the gift that it is. I'm thanking them. I'm saying thank you both so much, and I hope that you'll continue to teach me. The sacred feminine says, no, we are not dismissed. I thought they were done, so I kind of jumped the gun here. Whoops. You have been shown and you have been told of these energies, those that exist, those that you have created, and those that have been directed towards you by others. Now is the time that you must reflect upon what you have created, so that you may be conscious in that which you will create. Now is the time. Now is the time to transmute all. It matters not what others choose to do. You are responsible only for yourself and for the energies that you create and transmute. And these affect you. Energies that are sent to you by others and received by you from others form connections from which more energy can flow unimpeded. Let these energetic pathways be one of high vibrating energy only. And should others continue to transmit low vibrating energies or energies that are not one with your true vibration, then recall your energy from them and release all energetic connections. Release these, for they do not serve your highest good. Now, she says, now we have finished. Before she steps back, she points out these energetic connections to me. They look like clear tube-like things. That's how I'm perceiving them. So I'm going to work on all of these, and then I'll check back with the sacred feminine and the sacred masculine to see how I'm doing. I don't want to miss anything. I'm speaking with Jesus. He's saying that I've done well today, which I really appreciate. He's explaining that I will still have these challenges because sometimes I'll not be able to absorb and apply the lessons fully at the time of learning. They're here to remind me of my learning and to help me apply it, to use it. He's explaining that while I find it easy to shift my energetic vibration, I can be habitual and fall back into unawareness. So this is an awareness thing. It also seems to be an issue of brain rewiring of sorts. I need to get my brain to function and be aware of what it needs to be aware of on a consistent basis, all day, every day, and not just moments like this when I'm working with them and learning from them. But he's saying to me, don't despair, have faith, have faith. He's explaining that these changes are happening and that I've made strides and improvements and that he's proud of me, and I appreciate that. Mother Universe is saying that this has been quite the learning experience today. And I'm saying, yes, it's been quite the morning. I didn't expect any of this, but I do really appreciate it. Mother Universe says, the lessons are of great importance. You are on a journey, child. Enjoy this journey. Be amazed at all that is revealed to you and through you. Do not rush. Observe. Experience. Reflect. This is a simple path. Love yourself. Judge not. Remain aware of self and connected to the all. Allow and release control, for control is the great illusion. The ether says, allow. Do not resist that which you have no power to control, for control is an illusion. And resistance is an impediment that creates its own energetic vibration for which you have no need and does not serve your higher good. December 3rd, 2022. I had this very interesting experience this morning. Very early in the morning, about 3:30 or 4 o'clock, I woke up. My eyes were still closed, and I found that Divine was communicating with me about being aware that I'm not putting out thought energy that I'm not conscious of, because our thoughts shoot out like beacons. They told me to lie very still and pay attention to my thoughts. And as I did, I found a thought that I was not aware of, and it contained an element of doubt. Once I identified it, I remained still, and I continued to watch and experience this thought as it developed and as it changed form, while always retaining that same element of doubt. I could actually feel the pulsing of energy coming from the very center of my brain, coming through my head and expanding outward. You know, almost like when they show a star exploding and they show that the energy is rippling through the universe. It was the same sort of thing, except that it was my thought energy, and that was expanding into the universe. And that would have been fine, except it wasn't a thought that I wanted to be having. The brain and the mind are such powerful tools, and when we have thoughts, especially thoughts that are amplified through associated emotion, they resonate out through the universe with great power. We need to be cognizant of this. It's hard because we're so distracted in our lives, rushing around and under constant stress. We're exposed to constant noise and sounds and lights. TVs drown out our thoughts, as does surfing the internet. Our thoughts, especially the ones that move quietly in the background, are drowned out by a dissonant cacophony of distraction and of interference. Nature can help us to hear ourselves and to know ourselves, but most of us are too cut off from her and rarely sit within her peaceful harmony, but we should. Of course, there are other things that we can turn to help us, like mantras or prayers, music, and of course meditation, or just sitting in peace and stillness and listening to our own thoughts, listening to ourselves. Later on this day, I did a meditation, as I always do. And Mary Magdalene spoke to me, and she said that the teachings that I received in the early hours of the morning in relation to the power of thought and how it travels and ripples out to every corner of the entire universe is very important. And that this was an important mystical teaching that I must not undervalue the power of. She says, "Many speak of this, but few have experienced it. In this way, you were graced. Share this lesson so that others may understand it. Share what you saw so that others may experience it as well, so that they may see in their mind's eye what you have seen in yours. Too much is done with words, Sometimes experience is required. By describing the experience, others may experience it themselves, and in this way they may truly understand the impact of their thoughts on their experiences, on their reality, and on the reality of others. December 7th, 2022. The goddess Aletheia says, "Have patience, for truth will be revealed. Fear not, child. Have faith that all is well." The god Gnosis says, "To know oneself is of much importance, for without self-knowledge, one cannot navigate." I'm seeing a labyrinth or a maze with bales of hay stacked across a road that I need to travel. These are symbolic of things that come up and get in the way of my progress, of where I'm going. So what Gnosis is explaining is that if you have self-knowledge, when you come up to these experiences, you will know how to pass through them. It seems that these experiences are there to understand something, to help us understand something, or to find something within the self that is important. Gnosis says it is difficult for those who do not possess self-knowledge, for they may find that they cannot pass, and they understand not the reason why. See yourself, know yourself, love yourself, for all of your strengths and for all of your weaknesses. Your current self is formed from the experiences that you have met in this lifetime, and yet they are not you. They are not who you are, and they are not permanent. They are transient, and they allow you to discover that which lies within you. Strength and weakness are in the eye of the beholder. One should ask if they truly exist at all, as humans perceive them. This is something that you must ponder. Take, for example, empathy and kindness. Many see these as weaknesses, and so they are not considered gifts. Others see these things as being divine-like, and they are humbled by their presence. These people will aspire to nurture these gifts that they perceive as strengths. But what makes a strength or a weakness? By what measure can you define a gift or a curse? Do they exist in truth? You must turn your mind to this and do so without judgment. It is also of great importance to understand the difference between honoring the self and selfishness. These are not the same. Many confuse and conflate the two to their detriment and to the detriment of those around them. They deceive themselves and do not look within with the eyes of truth. This does not serve them well, and so it is of the utmost importance. It is the greatest of tasks to seek to know the self in truth. And once this is done in the absence of judgment, the beauty within and the greater truth of who you are in truth will be revealed. The sages Balthazar and Melchior say, "Consider what is taught, for what Gnosis has shared is of great importance. Much can be revealed through this." Jesus is asking me a question. He's asking, "What do you fear?" I'm like, I don't know. The usual boring things, I guess. I fear being alone. I fear being sad, being unloved. I fear struggling. I fear poverty. I fear illness. I fear not being able to help those whom I love. I fear being a failure. "Are you not loved already?" he asks. I am. Do you not already have enough so that you do not want for material things? I do. Have you not known success? And has failure not brought with it great gifts of insight and growth? Yes. Then you fear nothing, for there is nothing to fear. There is no shadow being cast upon you. There are only the shadows that you cast yourself. This you already know. The shadow does not exist. Accept this truth and remember it. The shadow does not exist. This is my lesson for you today. Mary says, Child, you are learning so much. You are beginning to allow. You're resisting less. Continue on this path. Continue to dissolve the resistance and to allow, for much will be learned. Much will be learned. All will be revealed, and you will be whole in truth. The unicorn says, you know who you are. Honor yourself so that we may honor you. Mother Universe, she says, you are learning much. Remain in the present, remain centered. Do not be thrown about like a ship in the sea as the wind blows and changes direction, as the wind waxes and wanes. I'm being shown the doldrums now, and then hurricanes with the winds that are whipping around. For you are not a ship at sea, you are an island, and these things come and go, they pass. Any disruption they cause can be healed, for in truth, you are protected. We protect you always. Have faith, child, and know us. The Source says, continue on this path. Do not waver. I feel as if I'm getting all of these messages because my life is about to get difficult, and I say that. Source replies, this fear does not reflect truth. For it is often in the absence of struggle that commitment to self and to one's connection to divine and to all that is neglected. Well, that's true. The ether says, remain aware of the messages that flow to you now. Remember that they flow through me. Awareness is the tool that is required now. Remain conscious and aware, for these things will help you to discern what is truth and what is not. Should you be unsure, reach out to us for guidance. Turn to us. We will always help you, child. December the 15th, 2022. I had a few thoughts that I wanted to share in relation to what I've been shown recently. There is a level of suffering that occurs when you're not honoring yourself and when you're not being honest with yourself. Because while your earthly consciousness may not realize it, your subconscious, and more important, your true self does. When we are in this place of denial of self-responsibility and lack of self-awareness, when we don't want to do our work, we come up with all sorts of deflections and excuses, rationalizations, all of which are employed to camouflage or to blur the realities or the truth within us that we don't want to see. A lot of it isn't our fault in terms of the origins of what we don't want to see within ourselves. They were given to us or inflicted during our childhood or later in life by people who took advantage of our vulnerability and caused us deep harm. But unfortunately, only we can fix the damage that other people have caused us, and making excuses or justifying or camouflaging won't heal the damage or fix the negative patterns in our lives. Only we can do the work and fix the damage and free ourselves. We can't run away from ourselves. And we can't run away from the work that we have to do, period. But have hope and realize that even a small tweak can have a massive effect, a domino effect. And this can resonate outward to have a positive healing effect on everything else, including with the people who are in your lives and the challenges that present themselves to you. You don't have to make some massive shift to see great effects. I don't think we realize how important these tiny shifts can be. Sometimes just awareness and a recognition of something within us that needs to heal or shift can make a huge difference. So we should all take heart and not look at ourselves as a daunting task of gargantuan changes, or we may never start down this path of healing and reclaiming our true selves. To this point, one of the most powerful things we can do is ask for forgiveness and give forgiveness. And this includes, most especially, forgiving yourself, especially yourself. Because we carry guilt for things that were not our fault, and this guilt does damage and blocks our connection to our true selves and to the all. If you can't ask forgiveness to another person directly, or if you're not ready to, then do so from within. You may use many methods to do this. For example, you could stand in a room and imagine them in front of you, or look at a picture of them, and then hold a conversation with them in a virtual way through the ether. And once you've had your say, forgive them and forgive yourself, and release them and the past that is not the present. Doing something like this is part of healing and of changing the energetic vibrations that resonate within you and around you. And while a person can refuse to forgive you or to accept your forgiveness, they cannot deny you self-forgiveness, which is the most important of the acts. And you can forgive someone who doesn't recognize or even realize that they need to be forgiven for what they've done. And then once this has been completed, it is you who has been healed. You have the power to do things for yourself. You don't need anyone else's permission. And the divine, in whatever way you identify or perceive it, is there, waiting and ready to help you in any way that you ask for. They love to help. All of us deserve forgiveness. All of us deserve to be loved and to be respected and treated with kindness and with empathy. By doing an act of forgiveness, you begin to release yourself from all of these attachments and ties, to misbeliefs and from the fears that create negative circular life patterns. And as you do this kind of forgiveness work, things in your life will begin to shift because things within you are shifting. Keep in mind, though, if you're going to do this work, that you have to be willing to look within at your own behavior and take responsibility for yourself, because all of us have had bad days and periods of time where we behaved in ways that did not honor our true selves, and we need to be willing to acknowledge these moments and behaviors in order to heal and to be free. Abusive people rarely, if ever, look at themselves with honesty. They don't self-reflect, and they don't see a reason for them to improve themselves in any way. They are the great camouflagers and justifiers, always seeing fault with everyone else and never in themselves. They are not responsible for themselves, and they are answerable to no one. All of the faults in all the world reside externally to them. They epitomize, in my mind, Jesus is saying, "And why do you look at the splinter or the speck in your brother's eye and pay no attention to the plank in your own?" So don't look to these people for honest self-reflection or inner sight. It won't come because they're either unwilling or incapable. And you know what? Unfortunately, they have the right to remain as they are. You can't change them. Only they can change themselves, and they need to want to. But often it takes a level of bravery that they just cannot muster. Remember that at the end of the day, it's not about them. It's about you. It's always about yourself and what you do. What will you accept? How will you handle situations, experiences, and your healing as you walk your path? Will you honor your true self? Will you maintain your highest vibration? Are you courageous enough to do your internal work with honesty and without self-deception? I'm very lucky. I find much of this internal work comes naturally to me. I'm naturally someone who forgives people. We are all energy transformational machines. How will you transform energy? Your energy. So remember that you're responsible for yourself, your behavior, and the motivation behind that behavior. You are responsible for being honest with yourself always when looking externally and when looking inward. You are responsible for understanding the motivations behind your behavior, including good behavior, because sometimes good, loving, and kind behavior can come from an unacknowledged desire to manipulate and control our environment. Sometimes we do this for safety reasons, for our self-preservation, because we may have fear of another person, or it's to secure our position with somebody or within a group. So strive to be aware of what lies behind a behavior, because if it's fear-based versus love-based, or low-vibrating versus high-vibrating, it will not result in a positive outcome for you. The act itself may appear the same on the surface, but it is the motivation that's important as well. What I just described are two very distinctive and different things. Love and the kind acts that come from a motivation of love and support versus the appearance or act of love or kindness that comes from fear, with a need to manipulate or control or even destroy. These are two very different things, even if they appear to be the same at the surface. And honestly, appearances or acts of love and kindness that come from a basis of fear usually destroy the person providing those acts over time. Remember, fear never enhances, fear destroys. I want to thank you all for being here with me today. I hope this gave you a lot to think about. It certainly did me as I was going through it and learning. And I do hope that you will be with me for more episodes. I'm very excited about what's coming up. And I will be releasing episodes now on a fairly quick, accelerated rate because I need to get to the second season, because what's taught there is very, very different. And those experiences are very, very different from what I've shared with you here in season 1. All right, I'm off. Thank you again and have a wonderful day.